like it. It's all because of global warming. You and I were involved in this. Partly you're in charge of causing global warming. So am I. So let's read it. Imagine that an Australian marketing firm, like a company, is doing research in your country, and you have agreed to participate in a telephone interview about your town. Okay, so the question, what is the name of your town, and do you still live there? And you gave me the perfect answer, right? What did you say? Yes, good. The town I am currently living in. Here, you should say in, living in. Because I live in the town. So the town I'm currently living in is called, obviously, Gyeonghae. Okay? But people don't know the location, exact location of your town, Gyeonghae. So you need to give a little more information about the location, where it is located. All right? So it is near Busan. We got a problem. And what is a Busan? Yes. Which is the second largest city in Korea, South Korea. Okay? Don't stop right there. I told you this tip. This tip is very essential and very useful. Yes, you need to give the question to the person you're dealing with. You need to give the question to the person you're talking to. And that kind of question, where one or two questions are good enough to give the person a good impression. Okay, so you are very interested in this chance, and this person might give you more chances to you to be part of the project. Okay, so have you heard of? Have you ever heard of it? Okay, or even have you been there? Have you been to Gyeonghae? All right, so it's good enough. And the town I'm currently living in is called Gyeonghae. It is near Busan, which is the second largest city in South Korea. And have you ever heard of it, or have you been there? Good. And what would you say? I want you to come visit me. Remember, there is nice. There's a nice barbecue place in my town. Okay? So I'd like to take you there. If you come visit me. This is another typical expression. Come visit. Come visit. You can come visit me. Just come visit me. Okay? Come visit me. Okay. You might think this is a little too much. Okay? But this is a whole part of the practice. You need to say more if possible. Okay. Second question. What activities you enjoy in your town? What activity do you enjoy in your town? Obviously. So can you say obviously? That means, let me be clear. Okay, I'm not going to tell you a lie. I'm telling you the truth. Obviously, there isn't much I can do in my town. Do you know what it means? Because my town is not a fun place compared to big cities like Busan and Seoul. There's so much going on there. All right? There's so much going on in Busan or Seoul. Those two cities are metropolitan cities, mega cities. Okay? The biggest city in Korea and the second biggest city in Korea. So there's much going on. There's much going on in Busan, in Seoul, but not. Okay, there isn't much I can do in my town. There's so much going on in Busan and Seoul. Okay? My town is a suburban area. Suburban area, okay? Which means there isn't much I can do. You can restate it, right? Obviously, there isn't much I can do in my town. There's so much going on in Busan and Seoul because they're what? Those cities are huge. There are always people doing fun stuff, like very interesting activities, but not in my town. So my town is a suburban area. What is a suburban? Suburban. It's not big enough to accommodate like more than 1 million people. Just like we have roughly 500,000 or about 550,000. But still in America, one huge size city does not have more than 500,000. But I'm talking about, though the size of our city is small, but we can expect a lot of activities like festivals, parties, projects. But I don't think our town has such thing. So my town is a suburban area, means 변두리, all right? Suburban area, which means there isn't much I can do. There isn't much I can do. There 없어. 내가 많은 게 없어. 내가 할 수 있는 게. Okay, so obviously 분명히 말하는데 obviously there isn't much I can do in my town. Okay, so obviously I don't do much stuff. I don't do many activities because it's like basically your schedule, a daily schedule is just like going to 학원 academy, the dance academy, or vocal academy, right? Like you come back home, like a back and forth, things like that. So let me ask you, what activities do you enjoy in your town? There isn't much I can do in my town. There's so much going on in Busan and Seoul. Those cities are huge, but my town is a suburban area, which means there isn't much I can do. All right, good. Now, would you recommend your town to your friend for sightseeing? Or why not? Sightseeing. What is a sightseeing? It's like a 관광 in Korean. Okay? Right? I am afraid I wouldn't. What is that? I'm afraid I wouldn't. So the question, all right, starts with would, the motor auxiliary, 조동사. Okay, would. So you, the better use that 조동사, would, all right, in answering the question. So I'm afraid I wouldn't. What does that mean? I'm afraid. No. 유감이지만. Like 아쉽지만. Okay? 유감의 자신. Very, very useful. 이거 아주 polite한 way of speech. 약간 그 발언할 때 좀 아주 예의 바른 거죠. I'm afraid. So I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid I can't. 제가 할 수 없을 것 같아요. 죄송합니다. I'm afraid I can't help you out. Right? So I am very, my must gets hectic. So I'm afraid I wouldn't. And let me tell you why. This is one of the typical responses you might use in a conversation. So let me tell you why. Like 힘 빼고, let me tell you why. Don't like that. You're going like, let me tell you why. No, let me tell you why. Right? I'm afraid I wouldn't. Let me tell you why. As I said, there isn't much going on in my town. Oops. Now you get it, right? As I said, because you said that something about how boring your city is, right? In the second question, all right? So you already mentioned that. So as I said, there isn't much going on, like much going on. 많은 일이 일어나고 있다. Like parties, a festival, right? Like even like what is that? Congregations, street rallies, convention areas. But there isn't much going on. Sorry. There isn't much going on. Like go on은 어떤 일이 일어나다. 어떤 사람이 이렇게 물어볼 수 있잖아. Hey, come on, what's going on? 무슨 일이 일어나고 있을 때. Hey, why the long face? 얼굴이 우울해. Long face는 약간 피곤하고 우울한 얼굴이야. Why the long face? Why the long face? Why the long face? Hey, what's going on? 이럴 때는 그렇죠? 그래서 go on. There isn't much going on in my town. Okay? But my town is famous for. What is your town famous for? Is persimmon? Gum? No. Tea? No. What is it? Oh my gosh. Kaya? I don't think it's nothing. My town is famous for, okay, a theme park. The Kaya theme park. For its long history. Okay? It's long history. Because I heard there is a national museum. Okay, there's the National Museum. What is the National Museum? 국립박물관. So, but there, my town is famous for its long history. And I heard there's a National Museum. You can go check something out. Go check it out. Check it out. Okay, I'm afraid I wouldn't. Sorry, Kim Hae. Let me tell you why. As I said, there isn't much going on in my town. Why am I talking like a Trump? But it's my town. It's famous for its long history. Very, very long. And I heard there's a national museum. I think you should go check it out. So you're going to have a lot of fun if you're interested in history and art. Okay. All right? You get it?
Yes.
Good. And next. Imagine that a British marketing firm, not Australian one, British marketing firm is doing research in your country. You have agreed, 동의했어. The British been in telephone interview about traveling. Ooh. Okay. Now, first question. Can you read the question, please? How often?
Do you go and what transportation do you
Good. How often do you travel and what transportation do you usually use? Okay. How often do you travel? I mean, with your family members. How often? Once a month or once a year? Or every season? Twice a month? Twice a year?
Twice a month.
Twice a month?
Twice a year.
Twice a year. Okay. All right. You can say roughly speaking. Say roughly. What does that mean, roughly? Yeah. But when you say roughly blah blah means I'm not telling the accurate number. Right? I can't tell you the specific number. What is it accurate? Yes. You can't give the exact number or accurate number of your travel or trips, but roughly. My family goes on a trip twice a year. Okay? My family goes on a trip twice a year. Twice a year. Okay? And what transportation do you usually? Your parents. We usually use, yes? Oh, our car. Okay? But never use airplane? If you go abroad, if you go to Jeju Island, yes. But you usually use your dad's car, your mom's car, yes, our car. Okay? Good. Is it convenient?
Yes.
Why?
We can comfortable sleep.
It's convenient for, can you write it? All right. It's convenient for a couple of reasons. Couple of means 세네 개, 두세 개. Okay. It's convenient. It's convenient for a couple of reasons. It's convenient for a couple of reasons. Okay. What could this be? We can stop by. All right? You can stop by anytime. Stop by highway stops. Have you heard of it? Highway stop, freeway stop. Oh. 고속도로 휴게소. We can stop by highway stop anytime we want. Okay? We can stop by highway stop anytime we want. Like 우리가 원할 때마다. So stop by means yeah. Stop by highway stop 고속도로 휴게소. All right, anytime we want. 우리가 원할 때마다. Okay? And one more reason. Because you don't always get something to eat, right? On the way to the destination. Like you sometimes stop by highway stop for, dealing with that, number one, number two. Okay? And there's one more reason. What is it? We can have naps. What is naps? 낮잠. Okay? Or we can relax comfortably or you relax in our car without being bothered by others. You know, when you travel by express bus, 고속버스, and you get to see or hear like annoying people snoring or talk and check, blah, blah, blah. And then like sometimes they eat very smelly food. Okay? I remember the day that I was really shocked. This lady was going, she wants to pay. It was very urgent. Very, very urgent. It was not just number one, number two. She asked the bus driver to stop the bus right now. She said, oh, it's too late, too late, too late. We were on the highway. Every single car that day was, it was like Saturday, I guess, roughly, I can recall. Every car was speeding so fast. And we stopped the car. If we had pull over the bus in the middle of the highway road, and we would have been, you know, got in some kind of car accident. The bus driver couldn't do it. But a few minutes later, we could smell something. We smelled something horrible. And there are like soldiers, 군인들, and there's other passengers. It's like almost half of the passengers had to leave their seats. So they were seated in the front, like a half front, not at the other half front, half the rear side of the bus empty because that lady was doing yeah, she was doing that thing. Yeah, really. Okay. I was traumatized by the incident. I can't shake the idea off my mind. So, yeah, we can relax in our car without being bothered by others. What does that mean? Without being bothered by others. 타인에게서 간섭받지 않고, 타인에게서 다른 사람에게 간섭받지 않고. So being bothered by, 다른 사람한테 간섭을 받는다. So without, 없이, without being bothered by others. Okay? That's good rhythm. All right, your turn. When was the last time you used the electronic device and to find a route, and what did you use?
What does it mean, route?
Route means 경로. You are one of the MZ generations. Like you're a Z generation, right? You belong to the Z generation. Yeah? So what do you guys use to find a location? Me, I use neighbor map. I used to use a T-map when I was riding my motorcycle, or neighbor map. Do you use Google Map? Kakao Map? What do you use? Neighbor map. Okay. So when was the last time you used an electronic device to find a route? So let's try it. The other day. The other day means 옛날 어느 날. The other day I was going to a restaurant where I would have dinner with a bunch of my friends. I hadn't been there before. I used a map application on my phone, on my smartphone. To get there. This is very neat. 필요한 정보를 다 넣은 것 같은데? So the other day, 여기서 the other day는 언제 쓰냐면 상대방한테 특별히 뭐 정확하게 말할 필요 없는 날이야. 그냥 요전에라 말, 요전날. 그러니까 이렇게 뭐 날짜를 정확하게 몇 월 며칠 뭐 또 뭐 숫자를 말하면서 며칠 이렇게 필요 없고 그냥 요전날. 대충 어떻게? 대충 그냥 뭐 과거라는 걸 얘기하는 거야. 그리고 너무 먼 미래가 아는 거지. 약간 먼 과거, 가까운 과거. 좀 약간 살짝 가까운 과거 시점을 이럴 때 그냥 가장 편한 게 the other day. 여기는 one day 이렇게 하면 너무 영어회화적이지 못하고 책에서나 글에서나 할 법한 얘기 one day, 어느 날. 그렇죠? 그래서 해봐 the other day. 약간 이거 좀 캐주얼하게 얘기하는 거야. The other day I was going to a restaurant. 나 식당 가는 중이었어. 근데 그곳에서 뭐 하는 거야? Where I would have dinner with a bunch of my friends. bunch of은 좀 많이 써. 이게 뭐냐? 그냥 무리, 한 무리. 그러니까 한 3-4명. 그 정도 그냥 너무 roughly 하게 얘기하는 거지. I would have dinner with a bunch of my friends, and I hadn't been there before. 이 단서를 주는 거지. 뭐야? 과거 완료를 얘기하는 거지. 나 거기 전에 가본 적이 없어서 I use a map application, 지도 앱을 사용했다. 구체적으로 네이버 할 필요는 없고 관심도 없을 것이고 a map application on my cell phone. 그러니까 항상 전화기를 얘기해서 전화기에서 무슨 애플리케이션하고 메시지 어쩌고 하잖아. 전화기를 얘기할 때 항상 on이야. 컴퓨터만 on이야. 많이 뭐 어떤 electronic device라도 on 써야 돼. 전치사. On my smartphone to get there. 거기 가려고 썼다. Okay? What do you prefer to use between a paper map or an electronic device when you travel and why? Okay. Like you don't have to write anything at this moment because you have 3 seconds to prepare and you can answer right now. 약간 너 10대니까 어떻게? I always use my smartphone, okay, to find a place or find a location. Okay, there are a couple of reasons. 그러니까 there are a couple of reasons 했을 때도 꼭 3-4개를 말할 필요가 없다. 하나만 얘기해도 되는 거예요. 어차피 우리 영어 연습하는 거기 때문에 there are a couple of reasons. First of all, 네가 아까 말했던 게 맞아. First of all, I've never used a paper map. Okay? And electronic 전자맵이죠, 사실은. Electronic maps are really convenient. Okay? And you can say they help me find locations easily. Okay? So I always use my smartphone to find a place or a location. There are a couple of reasons. First of all, I have never used a paper map. And electronic maps are super convenient, like really convenient. They help me find locations easily.